Welcome back. In this video, we are going to do a sales forecast using regression analysis. And the way we're going to do it is to capture any seasonal effect that may be happening at this specific company. We're going to start with the data provided, which is we have the dates, October, January, April. Now, one thing I want to point to everyone's attention is that if the data came out on October, that's for the previous quarter. Let's say July, August, and September. That's the quarter's covering, which is the third quarter, and the report comes out in October. And the same can be said for January. January, the report that came out with that data represents October, November, and December. So even though it says January, it's talking about the data, the information from the fourth quarter of the previous year. Okay, and what we have is then the sales numbers for each one of those quarters. These are actual. So as I was talking about, we want to first start to identifying the quarter, and we need that in order to help capture any seasonal effect that could be happening on sales. As we mentioned, if it's October, the data, that means July, August, and September, the 3 previous months. So it'll be the third quarter. You just punch in that number that you want. However, I'm gonna show you a function in Excel called choose, and put the equal sign. I'm gonna start typing choose, and we have that option. So what do we have to tell Excel for this function to work? It wants an index number. So let's call it month, because we're going to use the month of the date that is present over here. So we tell them, look in the month within this cell, A2. So choose from the month and the cell A2. And then we're going to put it in order of quarters. So remember, if it's January, it means it's the fourth quarter because the previous 3 months. So we're going to put a 4 there to represent if it's January. Now, if it's February, March, or April, then that's going to represent the first quarter. So there's a lag in the month for that to happen. And we're going to put a 1 there for those next 3 months to represent the first quarter. Now, the next you do a 2. And then a 3. And then we just do 2 4s at the end because we have a 4 here at the beginning already. So this is how we let it know that depending on the month and that cell, that's the quarter is going to do. This is one way to do it. And notice it found out it was October. So October, it's over here. So it knows to then use a 3. So then I can just drag the formula down, and it's going to automatically do all the quarters accordingly. So notice that because they're in order over here, you see 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it follows the pattern that we spoke about, that January represents the fourth quarter of the previous year. Okay. Now the periods, this is just the time series, as in period 1, period 2, period 3. Those were given. If not, you just go ahead and list them down just going one by one up. Now, what you see down here in the green, this is the part we're going to forecast. So we have data all the way to April 2019, and we wanted them forecast the next quarters. Okay. All right. So, and what will be period 32, 33, 34, and 35. This is the area we want to forecast. So let's go ahead and get the data organized so that we can use regression. Now, the idea is this is what we call, in statistics, they may call it dummy variable. And it just means that it's going to represent 1, depending on the quarter you're in, or 0 if it's not in the quarter. Now, the reason you only see quarter 1 and quarter 2 and quarter 3 is because when you do a regression, you cannot have all 4 quarters present. You have to omit one, and it'll be captured on the intercept. We're not going to get into too much detail of that right now because that's for your stats class. But the idea is that you cannot do all of them because then it has a full, complete set of everything and it won't work. The math on regression won't work. Now, it didn't have to be fourth quarter. It could be the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter. It doesn't matter which one you omit, but you had to omit one. All right, so since this first one is a third quarter, that means it's not quarter 1, so that's 0. It's not quarter 2, so that's a 0. But it is a third quarter, so that's a 1. Okay. All right, now another way you can do it is we can do an if statement. So I can put equals if, I'm going to select the if here. If C2 equals 1, then you put a 1 there. If not, put a 0. Now, why do we write it that way? If this cell C2, because we're in quarter 1, and remember quarter 1 is here, 1 again here. So if it's on the first quarter in any of these, then put a 1 there. If not, put a 0. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put some $ there to lock it in place. So I can then drag it or copy and paste or however I wish without messing up the formula. So what did it do? It says, what it's telling us, look in here and tell me if that's a 1. If it's a 1, then put a 1 here because it's first quarter. If it's not, put a 0. It's not first quarter. Now put the $ around the C and the 2 so it locks it in place. So that way, when I drag it over here, it doesn't move that cell. Now, what we have to do is adjust this because so far it's asking for it to be a 1, but now I'm in quarter 2. So I'm going to tell it just by changing this one. Let's do it here. By just changing that one to a 2, I'm saying if this one is a 2, if it equals 2, then put a 1 in this cell. If not, put a 0. And there it is. So no, it's not a 2, so it's still a 0. Let's do the same here where we ask for it to look for a 3 in there. And now it is a 3. So it puts a 1 there, then you know, yes, that was a third quarter. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to eliminate the $ in each one of these, and there's a reason for that. I first placed it there so I can drag it. And done. Now I eliminate it so I can highlight all 3. And I'm just going to drag that same if function all the way down. And now the purpose was, so now I wanted to move down the list. So notice that this is fourth quarter. So all 3 are 0s because it doesn't fit the description. Now we're in first quarter. There's a 1 there. Second quarter, there's a 1 here. Third quarter, there's a 1 there. Fourth quarter, 0s because none of these are fourth quarter here. And so on and so forth. It'll continue the pattern. 2, identify if this value belongs to quarter 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so fit, here's where we're going to do the projections, but we're going to have to do a regression first before we can then put the sales projections here. Okay. Oh, by the way, we can start filling some things out here we want. We're going to continue the same pattern. July belongs to quarter 2, right? Or I can just go ahead and drag this down, but instead of dragging this, so I don't lose the format. What I'm just going to copy it. But when I paste it, I'm going to paste the formula only, which is this one, just the formula. So that way I don't lose my format. It's still green, it's still bold, and it follows the pattern. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and first quarter again. Okay, and the periods continue that way as well. Now we can go ahead and also do the same, where I copy that, and I'm just going to paste the formula by just picking this one, and that way it continues the pattern without changing the format. Okay, so now let's work on the regression. Let's work on the regression in order to eventually calculate the fit for the projections of sales. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to here where it says data. Here says data analysis. Now, if your Excel does not show data analysis, there is another link I will provide with instructions on how to add data analysis to your Excel. It's free, you just have to go through options in order, in the Excel options to add this here. So once you have it, you click on data analysis, and here looking for regression. You're probably going to first see, oh, here, just scroll down. It's in alphabetical order. Select regression, and it's going to give you some options to do here. Now, I have worked with this before, so let me go ahead and put it the way it's going to look when you do it. So when you first open it, it's going to show some blank fields and some options. Let's go here first and click labels, because we're going to use the labels, the headings that we see here. Okay, so for the Y range on your regression, that's your left-hand side variable. Regressions is Y equals intercept plus X. And if you have more X's, then X1, X2, X3, etc. So the Y range, the one you're going to predict, you want to predict sales using previous sales, previous values of the sales, the dollar amounts. And let's do it again because we want to select the heading because we're doing labels. So we selected the word sales and all the numbers below it. We want to do it that way because we have labels clicked here, and that way it makes more sense when we see the output. On the X range, these are the independent variables or the predictor variables. We're going to use the period and the dummy variables. So just up to this point here, because these are the ones that we do know already. These are going to predict these and then give us some values. Now, output range, this is where you want it to come out. So I'm just going to click here, J2, so show J2, so the results come out here. We don't need any of these additional check marks. We don't need that information this time. So we'll leave it at that. We hit OK. It's going to come out with the values. All right. So let's go ahead and do a little formatting here so things look a little better. All right. And what we can do is take a few decimals out just for aesthetics. Okay, so these are the values that we really care about for the fit. These are the coefficients. You have the intercept, the coefficient of period, which is estimation of the period, and then for each quarter. Now, how do we start projecting? Now, for projection purposes, I'm going to start first down here, just to put the actual sales projection. Now, it says fit there, but that's the same as saying the projected sales that we're calculating with this regression. So this is how it works. We're going to start with the equal sign. This first value we want to start with is the intercept. You have to start there. That's part of the formula. Y equals the intercept plus the coefficient times the value. So the parameter. Anyways, so we start with this, the intercept you see here. Now, because I'm going to use this formula for all the values in the column that I need, I'm going to go ahead and press F4. With F4, I get those dollar signs. That way I can lock that value in place. Now, I'm going to start multiplying the coefficients with the values. So plus, that's what we're going to do. We're going to add the period coefficient times the value in the period, which is here. Right now, because I need to lock in that coefficient as well, I'm going to put dollar signs on that. I'm not going to put dollar signs on this one because I need that one to move up and down when I move the formula around. So we're going to add now the value in Q1. I'm going to lock that one in place as well, times the value in Q1, plus the value in Q2, lock it in place, times the value in Q2. Now I'm going to have to do this and move it because I couldn't click on it directly. All right. So that took care of Q2. All right. So I got one more plus the coefficient here, Q3, times the value I have in Q3, which is in the G cell. So let me go ahead and start here and then move it there. So just follow that formula. And I should have locked this one in place as well. So the point is that the intercept and these values here, these coefficients, they have those dollar signs to lock them in place. And then the intercept does not get multiplied by anything, but then these other coefficients get multiplied by the value in which one of these, each one of these columns according to the head. At this point, I'm going to hit enter. And that would be the forecast for the next period. And I can now, since I lock those in place, I can just drag it down and I have forecasted the sales for those periods. Now, there's a reason why I'm doing all here and not at the bottom here. I'll explain that in a moment. Now, if you want to kind of have an idea of how good this is predicting those sales based on the previous information, let's see how good it would have predicted the sales that we already know about. So what I can do is I can copy that formula and paste it all here, because remember, we set it up in a way where it will follow the sales that figures these elements here without losing these out of place. But in this case, in order to not use format, I will paste the formula as well. So now we have, and we can check on it. Notice I can click up here. That way you know it's using these cells and these cells. So it worked. These versus these. So it worked. Okay, so now we have how it would have estimated these, but we already know these are actual. So a good way to then compare it is with a table. A chart, a graph. So let's go ahead and use the dates and the actual sales that we know about. We're going to highlight those. I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to highlight these, the predicted ones. And let's see how well this worked. I'm going to go ahead and go with Insert. I'm going to look here at the charts. And in this case, it automatically popped up with this recommended one. That's what we want to use. Just hit OK. And let me go ahead and make this larger so you can really see it. If you notice, the blue line is our actual sales. And that's why you see the blue line stops here. It doesn't continue because this piece here is a projected side. But what's important to notice is that the orange line, it's our predictions. So the regression, when used the way we did, the orange line almost perfectly follows that blue line. It's not perfect, but it's really, really close. So you can be confident or feel good about this prediction. So this prediction was based on the blue line over here. And if I backtrack it, yeah, the orange line does pretty good at following that blue line. It's not always perfect, but it looks good enough. That's a visual check. And this will be your predicted area. Now, why do we have these spikes, ups and downs? The seasonal effect. This approach captured that in January, every January we have a spike. Now, why is that? January is actually reporting the fourth quarter of the previous year. Those are the holidays. This sample company, more than likely, has a lot of sales during the holiday season, October, November, December. So it makes sense that when the numbers come out in January, that you see those huge spikes. And then it goes back down, normalizes the spike in the fourth quarter. But the point is that this approach captures any seasonal effects. And that way you have a good projection on the trend instead of just having a line that is kind of straight. It doesn't tell you much when is that spike going to hit again. And that's how you use regression to project sales into the future. And this chart shows you how accurate it can be given the data provided. We will stop the video here and see you on the next one.